This is Abe Friedtanzer from cinemadailyus.com, and I'm thrilled to be speaking with Ophelia Lovibond and Jake Johnson about their new show, Minx. How are you both doing today?
Good.
Good, great. It's great to be able to speak with you. I really like this show a lot.
Oh, great.
Thanks, Abe.
What attracted you both to the show originally?
I just loved it. As soon as I read the script, I just loved it. I'd not read anything else like it. I'd not seen anything like it on TV. I thought it was approaching a world that we haven't seen enough of, and Joyce. I loved that character. How she's a kind of mixed bag of various things. I just thought it would be just so much fun to play her, and it was.
Yeah, similar. I had the same thing. I thought the script was great. I thought Ellen's writing was really clean, and I was really excited to play Doug.
That's great. And I think your two characters are really polar opposites in a lot of ways. How much are you like them, and how much are you like the opposite person?
I don't think I'm like Joyce at all, but I don't think I'm totally like Doug either. I think it would be Doug and then the middle. But I think Joyce and Doug are really opposites of the pendulum.
They have completely different ideas of how you go about things, and but I mean the tension. They ultimately want the same thing. They just go about it in such a different way, and think the other's way is just so stupid. There's a scene in the mob, the mafia episode, the mob wives episode, when he's kind of complaining that she's kind of made a mess of things and kind of got them into trouble. And she said, yeah, but he said, oh, you stop joicing it. And she's like, well, actually, that's got us a conversation with them. So actually it's quite effective. So what she thinks is a really good approach to things, he thinks is moronic, but they're steadfast in what they believe is the right thing to do.
What kind of research did you have to do for this show, and what surprised you most in it?
Well, I mean, I did lots of, I've said this before, but I was already kind of very familiar with lots of things that Joyce is enthusiastic about, because I am enthusiastic about them. But I did have to do lots of research into, there were kind of references to things that I had no idea what they were, like the Rose Parade, and I had to figure out this whole thing in Pasadena, and just kind of even like certain brands of coffee, just all these kind of things that would be spoken about in quite a kind of throwaway way, and I think I have no idea what I'm talking about. Like mimeograph machines, I had to figure out what they were, and why does Joyce love mimeographs? It's just a really geeky detail, and obviously all of the kind of the feminist literature that she would have been reading about.
What about you, Jake?
Honestly, I don't feel like I had to do too much research. I felt the writing was really clean for Doug, so I knew who he was on the page. And then these type of salesman type characters I grew up around. So I know these guys, and I personally like these guys. I'm one of the rare individuals that am sad that like buying cars is now online. I like negotiating. I like salespeople. I like people trying to hustle you. I like when I like going into a junk shop and, trying to get a $3 thing down to $1.50. I think there's a real art to all that's going away, and Doug's right smack in the middle of it. So it just felt like I got to lean into a type of character that I'm afraid is going away and that I really enjoy.
I like that. And I assume it was a fun experience on set, particularly because of the costumes and just the set design and everything. Is there anything that you were particularly excited to get to wear or explore?
I was really excited about the episode set in the country club, and just seeing the bottom dollar crew in that scenario, and just the contrast between it. And the costumes were just incredible. We'd always look forward to see what other people were wearing. You might see the kind of the mock-up of it on the wall, but then you actually see your fellow cast members just looking amazing. The costume design was incredible.
Beth Morgan, who ran the wardrobe department, is brilliant. And so being in her world was really neat, and realizing that you'd have to just stop giving opinions and listen to her. And so there'd be certain outfits I'd walk in the morning and see and feel like, oh no, I'd have a moment of I am going to be embarrassed walking on set in this outfit. But once you threw it on, it really did feel like the character, and it really helped make it all come to life.
And in terms of just their differences as well, like when you'd see, it's so perfectly placed in the pilot, because you see Joyce in kind of this 3-piece tweed suit with the pussy blow bows, and then you see Doug in kind of so relaxed, and it's just the costume is a character in the show and helps explain the world and kind of position them for people watching it. So we were lucky that we had Beth.
That's great. And I know I've seen you guys in shows like Trying and New Girl, where you've had these complicated romantic relationships and sort of long-standing things with different people on those shows. But what I like here, and I know that Ellen mentioned also, is that there isn't this sexual tension between these two main characters. Is that something you think you've seen before in other shows, or was that sort of a brave and interesting choice here?
I personally think it's far more interesting because it is more unusual that's not what the dynamic is, and there's so much scope for other dynamics to be explored when a man and woman are kind of trying to work together. I mean, they're not even particularly friends. It's a kind of friend collaboration of convenience. It's not, they wouldn't spend time together off out of work.
Yeah, I think they just think they can make a lot of money together, or at least Doug thinks they can make a lot of money together. I think Joyce thinks they could change a lot of lives together, but I don't think either of them would even think of romance with the other person. No, I mean that's even. Yeah, I think the idea is that's not on the cards. They're not interested in that. Which I just think that is more. We just don't see it as often. There's leaves space to explore so many other aspects.
Yeah. And I do think that there definitely is some graphic sexuality in this show, but it's done in a very tasteful way. Do you think that people will be surprised by that, or will this be a little bit more than they're expecting? I think, honestly, we have been so overexposed since the explosion of the internet to pornography. So anybody who pretends that they're shocked by seeing a penis or a pair of boobs, I think there's about 1% of people who would actually be shocked. And then there'll be like 15% of people who pretend to be shocked. But I think the way that it's all handled in this is really all for the story. I mean, this show in particular is about that industry. So to not show it would be a lie. But I don't think it's a show that is, just showing penises and boobs and what have you, just for, what have you, but just for the sake of doing it. It's always on story and it's part of the show. Yeah, no, I absolutely agree. I think it's done very well, and I appreciate getting the opportunity to meet both of you today. Everyone should watch the first 2 episodes of Minx when they start on March 17th on HBO Max, and keep going with this really terrific series. Thanks so much, guys.
Thank you. Thanks, Abe.
Appreciate it.